All right, now let me give you a scenario here and let's go through. Now, I've done a lot of talking and you give me some really good stuff here in the chats and everything. This is what it all boils down to. This is what it all boils. Now, you know, there's a lot of information underneath there. Okay, so here we go. Dagwood is a team leader. However, the new pieces of inventory need to be entered into the system. But all of his team members who are trained to do this are too busy to get it done. Typical shortage of labor type of problem. So he chooses to enter these new receipts into the system himself. Betty Rubble has been a team member for about a year, and she shows a lot of promise. Even though Dagwood could train Betty in how to update the organization's inventory, he feels entering these new items into inventory is so critical, he should simply do it himself. Okay, now freeze right there. What do you think? Everybody's busy. Betty shows promise. She's never done it before. And understand, it's gonna take Dagwood some time to teach her how to do this, and it's a critical task. Okay, can they do it together? There you go, Catherine. That is exactly it. Dagwood should sit with Betty. Yes, yes, yes. Nancy, Catherine, you have hit it on the head. And let me just go to clarify. Dagwood, you have no choice. You are the team leader, supervisor, whatever we're going to call you. This is not your job. Because if you are spending all this time doing the inventory, then you aren't doing the other trust building, resolving conflict, and all those other types of things that you absolutely have to be doing. You have to actually be there. Okay, so we've had a talk with Dagwood. Dagwood, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, and what happens? Oh my God. Dagwood, what happens if you get sick? What happens if you get COVID? Now, we're not going to be happy you got COVID. We're going to be even less happy that there's nobody else that can do this. Okay, so you see, we really don't have a choice here. Okay, so, all right, formulate a SMART goal. All right, so you got to do inventory. Has anybody here ever done inventory before? And let's just say that this is yeah, Sandy's done it. Very good. So Sandy, you would be one of our people here. Johnny has done it. There you go. Beth, it's not fun. Oh, Beth, no, it stinks. It's terrible. Okay, it really is, but it's important. Inventory. And you are a warehouse. Okay, and let me just make this real simple. You're a warehouse and you store jelly and juice for different companies. Okay, and your company makes some too. Okay, Tamara's done it. There we go. Now freeze right there. Look at the experts that we got right here. And we got 58 people online right now. Okay, right there. We've got 5 or 6 people who've done it before. You kind of see. I got people to draw on. Okay, so, and this is a little tricky for the SMART goal. We need to know monthly how many items we have from each vendor by the end of the month, by the 31st. Okay, so we need to know how many items that we have for each vendor by the 31st or the 30th. Make it 30th since it's April. Okay, now does that sound like it's specific? Is it measurable? Is it action oriented? Does it tell you what Betty's got to do? Is that realistic? And it's about 500,000 square foot under roof. And is it timely? And close is good because I know that we're doing this exercise from the standpoint of you trying to imagine what this warehouse is. Okay. Tamara's saying no. Okay, so Tamara, give me some input here because you see, I'm sitting down with Betty. She might not know what's realistic or not. So is there something you do to clean this up a little bit, Tamara? Because, hey, let me give you a great saying here. It is amazing what people can accomplish when no one's concerned with who gets the credit. It's amazing what people can accomplish when nobody's concerned with who gets the credit? Okay, Tamara gave me another good chat here. Tell her what tools to use. Okay, so let's assume this is pretty good. Okay, SMART goals. Okay, now can anybody help me just brainstorm? So let's move to number 2, because I think that's where Tamara is going here. Correct me if I'm wrong. What activities are going to be needed to attain this goal? What is she going to have to do? What do you do when you conduct inventory? Any ideas? You got to count. Got to count lots of stuff. So we're going to have to sit down with her and say, okay, this is how much, because is it pretty standard how many juice boxes and jellies are in a container, like in a pallet or something like that? Is that pretty standard for those of you who've done this before? Yes, yes. And here, Tamara's giving me some great advice here. Enlist others who work in those sections. Absolutely. Okay, so, you know, they've got other jobs they're doing, but I will tell you, anyone should be able to take a few minutes and help Betty. Now, freeze right there. Is it their job to help Betty? Hey, I'm doing my own thing here. Betty, take a hike. What do you think? Yes, we are. And I'll tell you right now, we're putting real meaning into it. We are a team. It's their job to make the company successful. Thank you. We do not. Is it safe? Go back. The one thing, the one question you always have to ask, always, is it safe for Betty? Is it safe? Everybody needs to know. Betty's new into this job. You've been here a while. We all like Betty. This is what she's going to have to know how to count. She's going to have to know how many juice boxes or whatever are on a pallet. And yeah, those are pretty standard types things. How many are on a rack? Okay, where are these racks? Whose racks are where? So you kind of see there's a lot to show. Those are the activities. You got to go around and show her. Okay. What kind of resources do you think she's going to need? And what are our obstacles? Now, number 1 is always time. Number 1, is Dagwood going to be working some more hours? What do you think? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you from the crowd. Absolutely. Things always get worse before it gets better. Yes, Julie, it's possible. Absolutely. Okay. But you kind of see the idea is the more he develops his other people, this is what we call cross-training. Anyone, and I hate to keep using sports analogies, but I will tell you, let me ask you, does anybody know in baseball what a utility infielder is? What's a utility infielder? Does anybody know? What does that mean? Oh, I got a utility guy. Well, what position is utility? They work different positions. That was Jackie Robinson. Oh my gosh, I can move him to first base. I can move him to second base. I can move him to shortstop. Absolutely. And Lynn is hitting it on the head here. It frees up his time in the long run. Absolutely. What else does she need? Well, she probably needs a calculator. She probably needs to be shown the forms. That goes back up to attaining goals. Okay, now here's a big one. How are we going to monitor or control what Betty is doing? Now remember, you've got strategic controls, you got warning controls, and continuous controls. Any suggestions for me? Should you strategically be checking it? Strategic. Thank you, Julie. Absolutely. Now, she's new to this, and we're going to watch her do it for a while because we're not just going to throw her out there. And when she seems to be getting the hang of it, she gets some wood on the ball. That's great. How often should we be checking in with her to make sure that she's still okay in this 500,000 square foot warehouse? How often should we just go and say, how's it going? Oh, daily, at least once a day. You are so right. Frequently until she's showing confidence. I'm hearing from Julie often. Yeah, and you work that out with her. What are you comfortable with? I want to come and make sure everything's okay. It's going to be at least once a day because I want to make sure you're taken care of. Now, go back to Nancy's perfect comment. Do you kind of feel the micromanaging going away? Are we changing the culture to where it is safe? There's trust. It's safe to come to work here. I'm not going to throw, yes, Steve, absolutely. This is not going to happen to you like it does at Kroger. Okay, then how about warning control? What is a warning control? What could go wrong? Yeah, she could come back when she needs a refresher or support. My columns don't add up. That's a problem. Does it mean you're in trouble? No, you're new. Absolutely not. Okay. Continuous control. You can come and see me anytime. Okay. She misses some inventory. That's a warning control. Okay. You kind of see, I want as many safety nets for this employee as humanly possible. Freeze right there. This is exactly what we need to do with new hires. Okay. And it's amazing. Sometimes you'll hire somebody, they'll come for a day and never come back. Sometimes it wasn't your fault. Sometimes it was.